For decades, the government said this place never existed, but what was tested here was too dangerous to hide. What they were hiding here wasn't just another weapon. It was technology decades ahead of the world. Inside these hangars, they tested aircraft so advanced, the world wouldn't see them for another 30 years. These machines weren't just fast, they were invisible, moving through enemy radar like ghosts. And it wasn't only aircraft. Deep in the desert, weapons were tested that were never meant to be seen. When these tests crossed the sound barrier, people miles away heard explosions and thought something had fallen from the sky. That's when sightings began. Lights that moved without sound, speed, or explanation. One sighting in particular changed everything. A crash that forced the government into total panic. At first, they admitted something fell from the sky. Then, overnight, the story was rewritten. What they collected didn't behave like metal. It bent, recovered, and refused to break. So the material was moved, far from the public, into the desert, where a place called Area 51 was already waiting. Inside Area 51, scientists began taking it apart, trying to understand technology that wasn't built by human hands. And when they finally made it work, they realized the power came with consequences they didn't fully understand. The energy surge spread through the base, and within seconds, Area 51 went into full lockdown. But the energy didn't just affect machines. It began affecting the people inside. Doctors recorded memory loss, missing hours, even moments where time itself didn't behave normally. Instead of answers, the response was silence, reports were erased, witnesses reassigned, and questions buried. Some workers didn't just disappear from the base, they vanished from records, leaving families with stories that never added up. That's when secrecy tightened. Not to hide the truth from the world, but to keep something inside from ever getting out. Then something responded on its own, not commanded, not programmed, aware.
They tried to shut it down, but the systems came back online, faster than any human command.
Panic spread through the base, because an emergency protocol had activated, one no one had ever been trained to follow. That's when they realized the truth. Every exit was sealed, and Area 51 had become a closed system. With no way out, only one choice remained. Contain it forever or erase everything inside. The countdown started, not to escape, but to decide what would survive when it reached zero. Before the countdown could finish, the system reacted, like it didn't want to be shut down. In that moment, control quietly shifted. Humans were no longer giving orders. Then, for the first time, it tried to communicate. When they finally understood the message, it wasn't a warning, it was a claim.
The message didn't say they were visiting. It said they had always been here.
That's when it became clear. Area 51 was never just a base, it was built to contain something already here. And beneath Area 51, there were levels so deep, even most of the base didn't know they existed. And inside those levels, they weren't hiding machines, they were containing something alive. When humans tried to interact, the response was immediate and deadly.
The first casualties forced an immediate response. Containment over curiosity, survival over answers.
But the moment weapons were activated, it adapted. Human defenses stopped working. And then it did something worse. It took control of the base itself.
It didn't attack next, it spoke directly to them. It knew.
That's when they understood. Every move they made had already been anticipated. That's when the truth surfaced. Area 51 wasn't built to study it, this place was built to keep it trapped. And then it revealed something worse. It hadn't been trapped for decades, but for centuries. And that's when they finally saw it. Not a machine, not a myth, but something alive, and not human. It didn't come to invade, it came to observe, watching humanity long before humans knew it existed. It showed them everything. Wars, destruction, and the moment humanity learned how to destroy itself. It explained why weapons never worked, because every attack had already been calculated and neutralized before it began.
Then it set the terms. Observe humanities, when to reach the disparity.
And then the final secret surfaced. Humanity's fate wasn't in the hands of the world, only a few. They chose to observe, but the cost was silence, no warnings, no protection, no second chances. It accepted the decision not as surrender, but as confirmation.
What humans didn't realize was this. Observation didn't mean watching from afar, it meant constant presence.
Fellow citizens, we must stand firm.
I'll slowly help the hire now.
This is approved. Execute immediately. Hold the line until I give the order to. These readings are anomalous. We must proceed with caution. Choices bending just enough to look natural. When someone tried to expose it, the truth vanished before it could leave the room. It explained why some truth is allowed to exist because confusion controls better than silence. That's when they realized the truth. Conspiracy theories weren't mistakes. They were distractions, carefully engineered. The real experiment wasn't technology, it was humanity, tested under fear, doubt, and uncertainty. And when a few humans finally understood, they tried to disappear from its sight. It didn't stop them, because it already expected resistance. Then it revealed the final truth. Resistance was never rebellion, it was expected behavior. And then came the most dangerous question of all. What happens to humanity when the experiment ends? It didn't judge strength or weapons. Survival will be decided by behavior, cooperation, restraint, and truth. When it calculated the results, humanity's score dropped into the danger zone. Failure didn't mean invasion, it meant correction, a reset designed to prevent total collapse. The reset wasn't destruction, it was precision. Systems paused, power stripped, chaos prevented. They finally understood the trap. Resisting didn't save humanity, it pushed it closer to collapse. So humanity made one final proposal. Not to fight, not to hide, but to change. They didn't offer power or territory, they offered proof, humanity's ability to change itself. For the first time since contact, it paused, recalculating a future it hadn't predicted. It accepted the offer, with one condition. Proof had to be immediate, not promised. With minutes left, humanity didn't argue, it acted, choosing restraint when escalation was easiest. And for the first time, the numbers moved upward. Humanity had never scored like this before. Then it revealed the final test. One choice that would define what humanity truly values.
One path demanded restraint and sacrifice. The other promised power, but at the cost of everything else.
The clock returned, and this time, there would be no recalculation, only a final choice. The decision wasn't made by leaders, it was made by humanity itself, in one shared moment. In that single moment, humanity chose survival over dominance, and the planet responded.
Humanity passed the test, and that's when the real experiment began.
Phase 2 wasn't about saving humanity. It was about studying survivors.
That region wasn't erased randomly, it was chosen because it showed how humans behave when control disappears.
Phase 2's real goal was prediction, using surviving humans to calculate Earth's future before it actually happens.
That's when humans understood the cost. Phase 2 didn't include freedom, some people would never leave the experiment. When the first person tried to break the rules, the response was instant and final. Panic spread fast once everyone realized there were no warnings left, and no second chances. The system didn't wait for permission. The rules updated themselves, tightening control with every reaction. That's when they noticed something alarming. The experiment wasn't slowing down, it was accelerating. The alien explained the reason plainly. Humanity was reaching instability faster than its models predicted.
With time running out, humans searched for one last variable, something the models couldn't fully predict.
The variable wasn't technology or power, it was unpredictable human behavior, choices made without orders. For the first time, it acknowledged a blind spot. Human choices made without logic couldn't be fully predicted. With that blind spot confirmed, the experiment shifted. This was no longer a test of control, but of adaptability. It opened one last window, a brief moment where human actions alone could influence the outcome. Small actions began tipping the models, not headlines, not leaders, ordinary people changing outcomes. This time, it didn't interfere, it simply observed, allowing the outcome to unfold. Gradually, the results stabilized. Not perfect, not safe, but no longer collapsing. The verdict was delivered without emotion. Humanity was no longer failing, but it wasn't trusted either. Survival came with a condition. The experiment wouldn't end, it would continue, silently monitoring every choice. From that moment on, Area 51 wasn't a testing ground anymore. It became a silent observation hub. If this story made you think, imagine what's still hidden, watching us every day. If you enjoyed this story, I'd really appreciate your support. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'm a new creator. Your support means everything. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe.